I'm going to show you by the grace of God that America's time in prophecy is over. The time frame for America to speak as a dragon. You know, the Bible says very soon that the two-horned beast is going to have two horns like a lamb, but it's going to do what? Speak as a... Now, the Bible says in Ecclesiastes that there is a time to speak. And we're going to find, brothers and sisters, when America speaks, there is a time in which America is going to speak in accordance with prophecy, and something is coming. Now, my brothers and sisters, when you come to a camp meeting, one of the first things that should be in your mind, we should get an understanding what's coming. Now, I'm going to tell you something. If we're in 2019, what is coming? Talk to me. What's coming? Talk to me. 2020. God has made it evident that 2020 is going to be the beginning prophetically of the end. Are we to do what? Wait until the fulfillment of the prophecies of the end before we say what? Now, what sense does it make to get to the end of the beginning, end of everything, and then tell somebody we're at the beginning of the end? Does that make sense, yes or no? No. The only way it makes sense is that you can tell somebody before it come to pass, so that when it come to pass, they might believe. 2020, because of these events that God has told us, marks the beginning of everything that we know is getting ready to collapse. Whether we look at anthropology, whether we look at history, whether we look at science, whether we look at the economy, whether we look at the environment, whether we look at the religion, everything says, all the thinking men, just as the prophet says, is pointing to this time. I am more certain this year than I've ever been in my life. Jesus is coming. Brothers and sisters, let's be honest with each other. Do you think that you're really ready for the coming of the Lord? Do you think that right now, and if the crisis were to break tonight, not how much we know and how much we can teach, do we have the experience right now? We cannot, brothers and sisters, listen to what someone else says only. We've got to get an understanding for ourselves what truth is. I would rather have one person in this room who believed the message than to have thousands who are compromised and didn't believe. I'd rather that be cleared out and only keep here only those who are true. You know that Jesus, with 12 men, was able to reach the world. Am I right or wrong? God's not interested in numbers. God is interested in getting men and women that believe and understand they can go forward. Now, in this end-time retreat, we're going to be dealing with the truths for this time, the understanding of the message. There'll be classes that deal with agriculture and farming, classes that deal with medical missionary work, classes that deal with sewing, how to make and mend your own clothing, classes that deal with canning, how to preserve your own foods, how to be able to live when a time when no man can buy and sell. And we're going to be discussing and studying and showing what can we do as a people now to position ourselves, number one, so that we're spiritually prepared, and then number two, that we're physically in a position not only to be ready ourselves, but that we can help somebody else. You know that God has another ark to build in these last days. Lord, as we bring this to a close in these last few minutes, show us that when we leave here this evening, we have to go to the upper room. Please, Lord, don't let this be ordinary. Give us something special. God, dear God, give me an experience in preparation for the Lord told me to impress upon us something. I don't know that you and I understand how important camp meeting really is. Annual camp meetings are of, what's the next word? Great importance. In other words, we cannot look carelessly at a camp meeting. This is the opening line. All who possibly can should attend them. It says they should, what's the next word? Feel that the Lord asked this of them. Is there a difference between an option and a requirement? Yes or no? What's an option? You have a choice. What's a requirement? Camp meeting is not an option. It says we should feel that the Lord requires this of them if God's people neglect the privileges which He has provided for them to become what? So what is camp meeting designed to do for us every year? It's to make us what? Stronger. So that if we don't come, what happens to us? If you find a man that for no emergency says he cannot come to camp meeting, you're watching a man that's getting ready to die. Brothers and sisters, we cannot go on with life as usual. Something is getting ready to happen. And God has given us understanding from the Bible from the spirit of prophecy, from history, from science. And we're going to look at everything, and we're going to find out that if ever there was a time to wake up, it's now. Now is the time to awake and do what we said. Every one of us should say, you know what, Lord, I'm going to make it in my heart today that if there's ever another camp meeting God allows, I will be at the next, and I'm going to bring somebody with me. We only have a few months left before we finish, so I would encourage you, act fast, or you may not have a spot or a place. Amen.